Yo, what up? It's your boy Joe, J to the O. If you know, you know. AKA Regal, BK Yaosa, the closest. One to the sun, trying to be the closest thing to the hardest working human being. Also, the closest thing to the perfect human being who is Jesus the Christ. Yahshua HaMashiach. And if Joe not, let Joe think what Joe think. Yeah, I mean, y'all gave Joe a mind and Joe gonna use it, or else Joe would lose it. Oh, hallelujah. Shout out to the TOP gang. Keep y'all feet on these niggas' necks. We're gonna win. We're gonna go to the kingdom and we're gonna go in. Shout out to the top choice sisters. Joe can't wait to miss you first. Joe gotta get with you so Joe can kiss you. Oh, hallelujah. So, divorce and remarriage is a topic that kind of came up today within my spirit. So I'm going to talk about it real quick. Joe going to talk about it. So, first off, I wanted to speak on a very close person to me has just passed away. My ex-wife. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the situation. I'm just going to say this. Throughout the whole situation, I never wished any kind of harm or evil come to her. Now, we all reap what we sow, but that's more of an issue between who we are and the Father and the work of the Messiah, because we all have our own choice to make within this life. That's why people get tested and tried to see who really gonna stick with the Father, who gonna really stick with the Messiah, you know? But I never wished any ill will or anything like that. Above all, I looked at her as my sister, you know? Hallelujah. I mean, we may not have worked out, but the only thing I took away from it, or the biggest thing I took away from it, was I need to do better. Because I can't blame other people for my situation, whether I like my situation or not. I have to figure out what a better version of myself looks like and then execute it and go that way versus blaming, blaming sources within, blaming for the way I feel for outside reasons that I can't personally change. I can't change anybody, nor will I try to change anybody. All I can do is change the surrounding. You know, if I can't make it work within one environment, then it's time to change the environment somewhere where I can make it work, right? Because the vision don't stop, right? Of where I'm trying to go, or where Joe's trying to go. But, and condolences to the family. And, I found out in a roundabout way because I'm not really tied and connected to her social circle or the ministry she was a part, or was a part of, or is a part of, because I believe she's gonna be resurrected. You know what I mean? So death ain't the end, because there's a thing called a resurrection, right? But I would have to make a whole nother video on the two ideas I got right now. One is divorce and remarriage is not a sin. I'm not gonna go deep into it. I'm just gonna touch on it. So I would have to make a whole video to really get into it. And then divorce and remarriage when it pertains to the kingdom in the first resurrection. Because that's something I'm really not even prepared to speak on. But an interesting topic to look at. Anyway, we'll get to it. So, divorce and remarriage. Jesus I believe said, now I have to pull it up. Like I said, I'm just going to touch on it. But a lot of people take the verses where he was speaking about the putting away of a wife, that Yah hates the putting away of a wife. Because some translations may have it as Yah hates divorce. Where, first, like I said, I'm just going to touch on this. First, Yahshua is not going to speak against the law. You can go to Matthew 5, verses 17 through 19. Yahshua is not going to speak in contradiction to what Yah gave to Moses to give to the children of Israel. That's not going to happen. But what can happen is mistranslation, and then compound with that a Roman or Hellenized way of thinking where a man is only allowed one wife, right? But that's if you submit to the Roman system by even putting in a marriage certificate, because there's no such thing as a marriage certificate in the scriptures, right? So when you have that mindset of a Roman, you already come in to the understanding or the comprehension of the particular verses half-cocked, because you're not even looking at it from a Hebraic point of view where men are polygynous, all right? And Yahweh is trying to stop them from being treacherous, right, by putting them away. Yah hates the putting away. Divorce and putting away are two different things. To put away a woman is not to give her a bill of divorce. And yes, there's a bill of divorce in the Bible, but it don't say you have to get it certified through the state or the government or nothing like that. You just write her a bill of divorce and you put it in her hand. It's that simple, right? Anyway, so men are polygynous by nature, and Yah has never condemned it, right? Men from Moses, we can just go through the whole book, have always had multiple wives and concubines according to the heritage of the Israelites. So, when you look at it from the correct perspective of how to look at this, and then you look at the words being used, if you look behind them and look at the original language, probably Greek, since that's in the New Testament, you're going to find that it's talking about Yah hates the putting away. Because if Yah hates divorce, then why did Yah divorce the house of Israel in Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 8? Right? So, and then you got to understand what the book say. But Christians, so if you was to go to a book club, right, and y'all picked a book to read, right, and you get to the book club, this is stuff girls do, women do, right? You get to the book club or whatever, but men could do it too, I guess, whatever. And one of the people like, I'm starting to read the book from the middle. That's where I'm starting the book from. Like, what? You're not gonna get the full comprehension of what the book's saying. Yeah, but I think I could just start from the middle and I'll figure it out. And this is an important book too. A book that pertains to your soul. Right? But truthfully, the New Testament is not even half the book. If you take the Torah and the prophets, the whole Old Testament, and add the Apocrypha, which is in like the Ethiopian Bibles and stuff like that, the Apocrypha, it's authentic and it's relevant. Right now. Prophecy is being fulfilled right now. That's like 70%, maybe 80% of the book compared to the New Testament and the Gospel. The Gospel and the letters. Right? The Gospel is Yahshua fulfilling a bunch of prophecy and doing the work that brought the house of Israel back into the covenant, because they the only ones that were outside of the covenant. That's why he said, I've only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel in Matthew 15:24. Right? He came to bring them back into covenant, so that they can also come to the kingdom promised to Abraham, resulting or ending up in the house of David. King David and his lineage will be the rulers over the land promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And he even has a promise with the houses of Israel that he won't destroy them too. That's why he came back, to do the work so that they can come back in the covenant. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. Yah divorces the house of Israel but stays married to her sister Judah, which means he put Israel outside the covenant, meaning they can't come into the kingdom no more. They done. The stranger can still come in, and the house of Judah can come in. But the house of Israel is done. The 10 tribes of Israel, they done. Right? That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. Y'all didn't just do this because he was being mean. That's what Israel was a hoe. Israel was a hoe, and Judah was being a hoe. How was they being hoes? By worshiping other gods. When you worship the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and Trick or Treat and Mother's Day and whatever else it is out here you celebrate, but you don't esteem the Most High Yah, you shouldn't be celebrating none of that stuff. Maybe if you want to get your girl or your mom or somebody a flower on Mother's Day, whatever. But the thing is, you should be looking at Leviticus 23, and that's it. Maybe you keep the new moons and stuff like that, but Leviticus 23 should be your main source of what you look at, so that you don't be a hoe. Keep his law. You either keep his law, or he don't know you. Let's just put it like that. Anyway, so no, go look at it yourself. Don't take my word for it. If you just want to believe 2 mistranslated verses in the New Testament that supposedly have Jesus speaking against the Torah, and that's the summary of your argument, that's the basis for your thesis, then you have fun with that. Hallelujah. But the Torah says that a man can give a woman a bill of divorce if he finds some uncleanness in her. You know, the book of Sirach say that if your wife fails to please you, give her a bill. If your wife doesn't obey you, I might do a whole video on this, but if your wife don't obey you, give her a bill of divorce and put her away from you. It's all through the book. So it's not some new idea. It's only new to the Christians, because they don't know what the hell they be talking about. Anyway, I'm your boy Joe, J to the O, aka Regal. If you know, you know. Hey, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Shalom.